This will be taking a look at two different methods at enabling sudo in the chromeOS shell. Either way, developer mode is required. Relevant URLs will be posted in the description below. Google provides documentation on enabling developer mode. If this is your first time doing that, read it thoroughly as it requires recovery. Why enable sudo in the chromeOS shell in the first place? The virtual terminal lacks screenshotting, copy-paste, multi-monitor support, and is limited to just 3 terminals. The shell is not hindered by these limitations. As of version 1.17, chromeOS disables sudo in the shell by default. VT2 is the only option to run elevated commands. Control-Alt-Refresh will enter VT2. Control-Alt-Back will exit VT2. The first method is lightweight enough to run without dependencies. Sucrose does not enable sudo in the shell traditionally. It emulates it using bidirectional first in, first out. Commands are sent to VT2 and the results are mirrored back to the shell. To install, we can do Control-Alt-T, which opens Crosh, type in shell, and paste this link. Control-Shift-V will paste, or right-click will paste. This downloader provides the steps needed to install. Control-Alt-Refresh, log in as Chronos, and then run this command. Due to screen recording limitations, we must pretend we are entering VT2. This is what the login screen will look like. We hit Chronos, enter, and then do sudo bash sucrose installer. This will start the installer and ask the user if they want to start the daemon now. Hitting Y and hitting enter will start the daemon. This will be on the virtual terminal screen. So once this appears, Control-Alt-Back will exit VT2, and then going to a shell will enable running elevated commands. If this is the same shell you ran the download through, make sure to refresh it to update your bash RC. To run this manually on a cold boot, log in as Chronos and through VT2 and type sudo sd and then return back to the shell. This device already has sudo enabled, so I can just run these commands to run the installer. Sucrose listens for 2 keywords, sudo and sucrose. Because this device already has sudo enabled, it cannot listen for the word sudo. But sucrose is a command that will most likely be available to use. Sucrose curl will send the command sudo curl through VT2 and then back. The results will be printed back. Sucrose uses a 43-bit authentication token generated on install. This bidirectional pipe must have authentication token to be accessed, and the pipe can only be accessed by the user. To have something like this start on boot would require disabling rootfs verification. That is not recommended for this tool. It will be for the next tool. To update to the latest version of Sucrose, which does not get a lot of updates, Sucrose reinstall will reinstall it. This must be run through virtual terminal, logged in as Chronos. The same thing for uninstalling it. A big part of the install is adding a little wrapper, a marker, at the end of our bash RC. Uninstalling it will remove that marker. For the more advanced method to have sudo natively enabled and have it starting on boot, we will be looking at the second method. SudoCrosh is the second method to enable sudo. It does require rootfs verification to be disabled, but unlike Sucrose, this does enable sudo natively, and it persists on reboot. SudoCrosh works by using a minijail LD preload to enable sudo by sourcing the library on boot. SudoCrosh creates a marker at the end of the file and can be easily removed and replaced at any time. Just like Sucrose, to install, we open up shell, and we're going to copy paste this link. While this looks like a lot of text, most of this is for copy pasting. This can be installed with Crostini or chard. I will be doing both methods for this tutorial. Why this is needed is we need to compile a C file. Compiling this file on different hardware other than your device will most likely not work. I have tried it. Because I cannot provide a pre-compiled file unless it's the exact same Chromebook, compiling it is required. So sharing a folder on Linux is pretty easy. We can just right-click downloads and share it. Because it's already shared for me, this is what my screen looks like. Once shared, Penguin has the ability to access our chromeOS files through the Mount chromeOS My Files Downloads folder. So with Crostini, I just copy paste this command and it will generate the needed files. So once this file is compiled, it is ready to be, the SudoCrosh installer is ready to be run. With chard, which is a change root for devices that lack Linux virtual machine support, this is doing the same thing. Once the file is compiled, we can simply log in as root and run this command, which moves SudoCrosh to user local, and then running it. This is what the login screen looks like. Root is what we want to log in as, and then running the move command, and then executing it. This device already has sudo enabled, so I'm just going to do it through here. To fully set up sudo, we have to do step 1 and then reboot. After rebooting, log in as root through VT2 and run bash user local SudoCrosh to run the installer again. Then run step 2, which warns the user about rootfs verification must be disabled. Once that is done, reboot a second time. Sudo will then be enabled until chromeOS gets updated. Every time chromeOS gets updated, rootfs verification is re-enabled. Option 4 will disable chromeOS updates by setting the version to around 100,000, which is valid for the next 800 years or so. Enabling chromeOS auto updates removes that file that gets created. Removing SudoCrosh removes the marker inside this file, and it also removes the library file that gets moved to user local. This is what the marker looks like. After rebooting twice, sudo will just work. This is the method I'm used to. This was made by the hard work by Velzie in 2023. This tutorial still works. I will provide the link as well. I got tired of running this command repeatedly because every time chromeOS gets updated, running this in virtual terminal was required, and I just wanted to make a quick installer, especially when on a fresh install. The other script I'm making use of is disabling chromeOS updates by J0Lee from 10 years ago. This just it creates a LSB release file in our stateful partition, which sets the version to 100,000. If you have any questions, please comment.